Oh, we're going live. Here we are live.
You know the guy that hit the pommel horse at full speed was from Edina?
Oh, man.
In the opening of Wild World of Sports. It's in TMZ.
It's crazy.
We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Listo. Well, welcome back to the Meta Sports League Studios and the DigiFan Podcast episode E023, 23 episodes, fellas. I think this one's going to be a hot one. Woo-hoo!
Let's go.
Let's go. Are we ready?
Yeah, it all depends upon the mood, doesn't it?
It really does.
Some people woke up and chose violence today.
No, like, by the way, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's so much
Missed you
better.
guys.
Like, wow, it's like we've got the full vibe here again.
Loving it. I did
we
miss
were
you guys.
we were
Yeah.
sitting on a chair with 3 legs.
Yeah, the Rolling Stones are back.
Perfect.
So, good stuff. We have a new Pope. Wonderful. An American.
Amen.
An American. So, Jeff didn't think I'd bring that up, but I did.
Thank you for doing that.
No, I want
I
to.
think that's important.
I think it's respectful.
Well, you got 3. Are you Catholic?
It's global news.
Guys? No.
I am not.
So 3 or 4 at the table here are it's pretty awesome actually when you think about it. And I think you brought up the fact he woke up one day. Did you ever think that his next vehicle would be the Pope Mobile when he was a kid?
He would go from a minivan driving down Michigan Avenue to
Right.
Seriously.
to Rome in the Pope Mobile.
No, it's crazy.
No one ever guessed that.
The one thing I did notice was the process that they went through to actually pick him, and I think that's really respectful, and I think it's very thoughtful. What do you guys think?
I agree that there's that's a whole different podcast.
It is.
But
Just
I
real
have
quick.
thoughts.
The
Yeah.
conflict.
But I do think it was interesting that
Just quick.
279 popes. This is the first American that
Yes.
they've ever chosen. I don't think they select popes based off of nationality, but based off of who is the most qualified to lead.
Yes.
But I think the most important part is the type of leadership that that church, 1.5 billion people that are part of the faith, need in terms of, and so I think we'll see. It's early, we don't know, but I think it's great. By the way, the average run for a pope since Peter kicked it off, 7.8 years.
No way.
Yeah,
That's nothing.
that's
Yeah.
it.
I
Now,
think a lot longer.
more recent time, it's been longer.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
Early on.
well, I mean, what's even weirder when you think about it? We kind of were just mentioning this: 279 years. Or popes over 2,025 years. That's not a lot.
No.
And you think about the length of the earth as a whole, we really, seriously, are not too far removed as a people from the time of Christ.
Mankind, yeah.
Just far enough.
It's amazing.
Far enough.
It's very
It's
close.
amazing. And
It's eerie.
the other, as far as him being selected, it was interesting that no one really projected this guy as much as we're a sports podcast, so we're projecting.
I know. Wasn't he kind of
but-
mentioned,
but-
though,
what are
Jeff?
the odds?
Wasn't he
But-
kind of mentioned a little bit, but not a lot?
I had 50.
It only took 4 votes for
That
this
was
guy
very
to,
quick.
to come to the top.
Yeah.
So somehow when they discerned, that's what they came up with. So big enough news for us to talk about, and I
think
can,
so.
why not? And if you don't want to hear this, get your own damn podcast.
Yeah.
We choose.
He chose not to speak English when he introduced himself.
Was it you that said to me? What do they know? Like 20 languages? Was that you that said that?
No.
Someone said that to me. It's unbelievable. Yeah, but he did not choose to use his native tongue.
I think what I had said to you was the tariffs are working so well that even the Pope is made in America now.
Oh, my
I don't think I heard you say that one.
God. Wow, already.
All right, the politics seeping in.
Sorry.
We
can cut that out.
We'll leave it right there. Peanut, do you like my hat?
I do. It's a little bit different from previous weeks.
What do you like? What do you like about it?
No sweat stain?
I just like that. I like that it's clean. It's clean. It looks like you just bought it. It's got
Whatever
the new,
happened to like grinding? So
the
did you
new
see where
design.
you didn't see where they ripped my hat last week? They just,
No, I missed it.
rip.
Well,
okay,
tell me
that's-
about it.
Well, it
oh,
has like a little bit of like grease stain from like
A little
greasy
bit, so
forehead.
I remember
claims-
I remember the hat, and I remember
But the light,
stain.
the
Yeah.
light accentuates it here. Let's just be honest.
Okay.
You know that
It
it's
does.
part. It's part of the design, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it
the
just shows that
skyline.
I'm a hard-working guy.
He bought
What's
it like
wrong
that.
with me?
Sweat marks?
So I bought this hat yesterday because I decided to get a new hat. Not because of that.
Okay.
God, I really need something to drink. This sucks. Starbucks had like
They do deliver.
They had like 80 people up there.
It was insane.
No school today, so it's a
oh my
problem.
God, it's like unbelievable. It was just like it was Club Kid.
Yeah.
I was gonna cue the Cars for Kids song. I was just like KRS Cars for
You know,
Kids.
there
Holy
there is a
shit.
caribou over in the corner of Lunds and Marley's.
I didn't even think of that.
That's the alpha for
And
next
that's
time.
actually better.
There you go.
So I went to the
It's not
Twins.
better.
I had jeans on. I had a warmer, thicker type T-shirt, my Callaway pullover as opposed to the one I have on now. And
At the Twins game?
yep, went in there.
What a
We
day.
had great seats. We were 4 rows behind the President's Club there, behind home plate. So, but my whole plan was I was going to walk down and I was going to gear it up. So I got a Twins T-shirt. I opted for this number right here. Can you get
That's
on
a
that?
sweet quarter zip.
It
Yeah,
is
that's a
very
nice quarter
comfortable
zip.
for that material.
Wags, you got a
Okay.
good life.
Hey, Doc.
And
Can you turn me up?
I also got the shorts, but I went City Connect on the shorts.
Ah,
Okay, so went into the dressing room, changed, looked like an absolute rube. I had I had the Twins hat, this thing, and this. But here's the great part. So like I didn't look at prices, and I'm
Why would you?
why
Yeah,
would I?
yeah.
And they're just. But this is the great part. Cheep, bloop, bloop. They're going through the stuff, and all of a sudden, you watch the number adding up, and all of a sudden it went from like. I don't know, it was like 125 to 268. I'm like, what the fuck? So it turns out this thing is $155.
Oh no.
Well,
Well, someone's got to pay.
So I spent I spent
Perez,
that's
so-
a whole
I spent $268 in the
on your
Twins
gear.
on
on my
outfit.
gear just because I didn't want to be sweating in perfect 70-degree heat. I looked like a rube, but God, was it comfortable. I didn't wear this. Of
Okay.
course, I went to the T-shirt. So
Yeah.
anyway,
let's
that
hope-
was
let's
That's
hope-
a, that's a whole lot of Chipotle meals right there.
But here's the great.
Wags, let's hope that those dollars don't make it to Royce Lewis's check.
They probably
Well,
they probably need to go.
They
to it.
will, and that the I've got lots of takes on the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, you came out ready to go.
Let's get to
you
it.
were about
I am-
ready
I am
to
stoked.
tackle me over here.
I'm stoked.
Why don't we let him start?
Yeah, let's
yeah,
go.
let's start.
They're 18-20,
Okay.
2 games under 500. They're 2.5 out of a wild card spot right now at this space. I don't think that this team maybe could win the division. Detroit's looking very bullish, at least in the early stages, like with the best record in the American League. So good for them. I like how they've been built. But the one thing that I couldn't help but notice was this Twins team, watching them on the field and watching the interaction. Very relaxed, very loose. Remember I had mentioned earlier that this team didn't feel like it had any purpose or energy?
Yeah.
They had a lot of purpose and energy with this group yesterday, and they looked great in doing so. Now, they only had 5 hits. They got out-hit. Bailey Ober had to start quickly because Joe Ryan had gotten sick. But he battled through it, gave up like 7, 8, 9 hits, something like that. But he left when it was 2-1. The bullpen was sterling. Didn't give up a run from the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. Griffin Jacks appears to me to have been over his early season struggles and looks very good. Duran was a 6-pitch save. He was absolutely lights out, really good. Cole Sands was his usual solid south. Topa did a good job. So all the guys came in, they pitched their inning, they did their job. The home run from Larnach was a blast. It was a mistake that the Orioles made, and he made him pay. Byron Buxton has played in, I think, all but 2 games, and he looks like a superstar. He's running the base paths. He's catching balls. He threw a guy out at home that was absolutely electric. He's stinging the baseball. He has 9 home runs.
Are we seeing a new type of Byron Buxton for the first time?
Well, we're seeing him healthy. And we're seeing a guy that one thing that stood out to me was when we had the injury in Boston, he was down in the catcher's crouch because he has bad knees. And a guy doesn't go down like that if he's not feeling good. He just seems a lot more mentally relaxed and isn't worrying about things, and he's just getting after it. I don't think it hurts to have a guy like Harrison Bader sitting right next to him who has been absolutely lights out defensively and offensively. For Buxton, though, he's played 35 of the 38 games. He's got 9 bombs, 25 ribbies. that leads the team. He's 8 for 8 in the stolen base category. The one thing this team's doing is stealing a lot more bases and putting pressure on teams defensively. He's also scored 29 runs, which leads the team. And Billy Ball, the Moneyball.
Yeah.
Everything was based off of runs scored. If you score runs, you're more productive than anything because that means you're either getting on, moving around, moving guys around. Score runs, and that really matters. Ty France has been an awesome addition at first base.
Huge.
8 doubles to go along with 21 ribbies. He's scored 21 runs. Bader's been awesome. He's got an 829 OPS, which is really good. Of course, combines slugging, on base, and average.
Yep.
And I just think it's been really good. I think the starting pitching's been elite. It's going to be elite. It's among the tops in major leagues in ERA. We expected that. We expected one of the best bullpens, and they're looking like it. And I've got a lot of energy right now. I'm feeling it.
Do you think that they're building momentum, or they just kind of started flat?
I think they started flat.
Very flat.
I think they started without a lot. They've won 2 of their 3 series in May, of which and 4 or 5 series going back to those, of which 2 were sweeps. Okay. One of them against Chicago, but whatever. That's still a Major League Baseball team. So I think it was a slow start. I think they've figured it out. We didn't see many defensive gaffes or base running errors.
I think after last year, they're trying to reshape the team, and that's a process. That doesn't just happen right away. So I hope that this is, that they were still solving that puzzle and early on, and
lingering
they're
effects.
they're just gonna continue to tweak, and we'll, by mid-season, we might be saying some really positive things about this team.
Well, I think the one thing that I think gets forgotten about in baseball circles or the sphere is it's really hard to be perfect from opening pitch to the end of the season. Mm-hmm. If it was, we'd have guys hitting 6, 7, 8, 900.
Yeah.
So there are lots of things, and when you get hot, that hot spell is offsetting where you can't hit the broadside of a barn. Yeah. Same thing goes for pitching, and I think pitching is it's a tough thing to be consistent with, and there are a lot of factors that go into things with how things work. And there was a moment. This is the moment I'm going to tell you about yesterday. We had a runner on first base with 1 out, and Christian Vasquez was up. It was 6th inning-ish. And it was feeling to me like that was take a base time, my opinion. And I'm like, I'd send him.
Yep.
I'd send him. And the guys next to me are like, why? Literally the next pitch, rolled him over, 6-4-3, easy double play. Buxton was left in the on-deck circle, and that was it.
A chance to get out.
Now, that next inning, they ended up... No, it was the 8th inning with it. But that same situation brought itself, I believe it was in the 8th inning, maybe. Runner on first, 1 out. It was Bader. He's fast. Bang, stole the base. Runner, he scores. I don't know what happened with Vasquez. He got out, but then, with 2 outs there, managed some runs.
Produce some runs, exactly.
So those are things they never would have done in the past, and they're doing now. And if I were able to ask Rocco Baldelli, it would be, why didn't you do it in the 6th? Was it too soon? Did you not like the situation there? Why did you do it later? Because I totally thought of it and agreed with it. Why not? And then how long do you let guys like Royce Lewis, who's over on the season, he's played 3 games, but how long do you hang with him and say, maybe we should sit you down so you can get a hit because you start getting in the head. You got to work through it. You got to do it. You got to put the work in. Yep. We saw Carlos Correa had a tough start, but he's starting to hit the ball a lot better. But he's been working very long hours on his swing, and he doesn't take any of that stuff for granted. And I think the one thing is, I think in this market, Carlos Correa is unrippable.
Yeah, he's a perfect human being. He's the CEO of the team, for sure.
Isn't he, though?
Yeah, for sure.
I totally agree.
He's got the stature. I mean, he looks like it. It was disappointing when he was batting 185 or whatever it was, because I feel like when you're the obvious leader on the team and you're not playing well, I think it's hard for you to lift up others. I think that he's able to do it, but it's much easier to lead when you're playing very well.
The one thing he won't do...
looks like he's paying 385. I think you might have sent me that information yesterday.
The one thing he won't do is give up and just stop and whine.
Well,
Nah.
Sounds
He's
like
gonna-
a Pete Rose.
He's gonna solve the problem, and he's gonna get the job done. He's
it's
good
it's
defensively.
It's basically his team and Rocco's team together. I mean, he's
Yeah.
his CEO and Rocco's. They're the same age, I believe, maybe a year apart. But yeah, so those guys.
So you're saying he's like a player manager almost?
For sure.
No, Carlos
Oh.
Correa is not Rocco Baldelli's age.
Oh, really?
No, he was 18 in like 2015 when he was drafted, and Rocco was retiring in his late 20s, 30s.
Okay.
So
But Rocco's still pretty young though.
he's young for a manager, but
Yes.
I like how
His career was cut short. By
But it's rare to be a player / manager.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. MLB draft is coming up. It'll be interesting to see what shakes down with that and what direction they go.
We get the 18th pick, or what's the pick?
Something like that, deep. Looks like a mock draft I saw had a college player going there. No surprise there. I'm really curious to see how Walker Jenkins can't because he's hurt is doing. Another player that's hurt. But anyway, enough of the baseball talk. I just wanted to go off.
How was the crowd yesterday?
It was good. It was 17-18, but it was everybody that was there in that building wanted to be there and knew what they were talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that you know what I mean?
That's very
That makes
cool.
sense.
Yeah, it
That
was
makes
fun.
The passion.
Where they keep
Yeah.
it. I
It was
like
good.
I like when the old
The-
man
the
and the
energy.
young whippersnapper are doing the book while they watch the game. I
Yeah.
love that.
For those of you keeping score at home, yeah, absolutely. I just thought it was.
The
I hadn't
energy was
been in a
good.
while. I
The-
mean, I hadn't been in a while, and it was
Yeah.
great. It was I would say, you know what? I pulled the Band-Aid off.
And the gentleman's special, the 1:00 start, the best.
It was noon.
Nooner,
Nooner.
even better.
But good energy though. Good culture there, Wags, is what you're saying. I know there's been some low attended games this year over at Target Field.
You know what?
When it's cold, yeah.
I'll tell you what. When you have weather like we had yesterday, I don't care how bad they're playing. There's nothing better than going with a few people that you enjoy conversation with
Yep.
to hang
Just
out
enjoying it. It
and
was
do
gorgeous.
that.
How long did it take?
It
From
was-
beginning to end, from parking to leaving?
So from our office, it was a 7-minute walk.
Okay.
And
so,
then-
but for normal folks.
7-minute walk, let's say, pretty much. Okay.
But if you're taking a car
Yep.
and you're driving, you're parking, you're paying for parking.
This
Get there a
sounds,
quarter
this sounds
to.
like a question for AI.
You get there a quarter to noon.
Okay.
Let's say that's your investment to park and
Yep,
walk and
yep,
get in the building. And then we were walking out of there at it was like 2:35.
$400 later.
Got to
So
our
how
back
much-
to our
yeah.
office in 7 minutes.
Okay, so that's not so bad. But in terms of price, like in terms of
$35 for our
tickets,
tickets.
for the tickets, what
35.
about food? Because I haven't been there for a while. So like a hot dog,
Food,
a Coke,
you
and
could
chips.
you could easily spend like $30 on food.
Well, I dropped
Easy.
$268 on merch, so I'm the wrong guy to ask. No, but I mean, like, we got like a Red Cow double,
Yeah.
2 little slider things and
Yeah.
some chips, and it was like, I don't even remember.
So
I
it
think
didn't really affect you.
It didn't affect you because you had to spend a couple
you
$100
didn't
on
I didn't
clothing.
care.
You didn't care. You were at the Twins game and you were loving life.
Yeah.
Great weather. Okay, well, that's a wrap. I love that.
So there you go. No, I would say,
Let's move.
no, it was good. So I would just say get down there. This team is going to be around as long as they stay healthy.
Yep.
But they do have help down at St. Paul.
And that's where I want it. We're gonna go to some
We're gonna
games.
go on a scouting mission.
Yep.
What's the?
Oh, our next field trip is Twins game.
That'll be
Saints
fun.
game.
Saints.
game is
We're gonna
first.
scout. We're gonna scout the talent.
I still
We're
think
gonna go
that-
watch
I'll
Zebby or
meet you at
David
Twins game,
Festa.
though.
I truly
Well,
think
then,
that the
then we'll go to the
experience.
Twins after that.
Yeah.
I feel like the experience can be far superior, believe it or not, at a Saints game.
Docky, is it warm in here or is it me?
It's a little warm.
Oh my
It's
god!
not
I'm
that
starting to
warm.
get the back
It's a little
sweat.
warm.
It's just
I'm trying to
rattling.
sweat you out.
It's rattling right down into my crack.
Thanks.
We might have to take that
For anyone
out.
still listening, and we apologize for
Hey,
that.
mom, sorry for that visual.
We got.
We all know what that's like.
Hey, what's
It's,
the-
it's,
what's
a, it's
the
a
deal-
little. It's
80
a little
degrees in
It's a little
Minneapolis in May.
swampy for some people in here.
Some more than others.
What's the deal with where is Royce at this
Royce
point?
Lewis.
Boy,
Is he rehabbing or what is he doing?
No, he's playing, and from the coaching I've done, especially with hitting, which is enough to know, he looks very. Timing is a big problem. He doesn't have his timing down right now, and they're getting him with a lot of off-speed
That's
stuff.
from his hamstring.
Not the timing, just being away. Like his spring training is right now. And
Wow.
I just, you can tell he'll be fine, but it's taking him a little bit of time, I think, to get his timing right. And they're getting him with a lot of breaking stuff right now.
So
very Miguel Sano-like.
Curry pulls a hammy and he's out for 5 days.
Yep.
And when Royce does it, he's out for, 5 months? He's going to restart.
We don't know if
spring
he's
training.
out for 5 days, and we don't know the grades. I think I'd be... Do you guys really think Curry's going to come back in the series?
Are we transitioning?
Yeah, you did
We
it.
could.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we could transition. Little bit of Wolves action. Basketball.
Apparently, he's never had a hammy injury before. But there's a 5-day gap between Game 5 and Game 6. And people wonder if the NBA did it for Curry, but apparently it's to accommodate the women's hoop team out there, or their hockey team maybe, out in the Bay Area. But he is going to be back for Game 6, they're saying, as of this morning.
I saw last
need him.
night. I saw last night that he was going to be reevaluated prior to Game 5. I don't know if you saw the same.
Yeah, again, sure, he can pop out in Game 5 or Game 6. All you need to do is cut weird once in a very fast, demanding game. You can go up and get a rebound. I think you'll be limited to what you can do, and I'm skeptical. I could be wrong.
I have a good feeling
greatest-
that the series will be out of reach by then for the Warriors.
Jesus,
They didn't need it. They didn't need him in Game 1.
We'll save this. Clip it, save it. We'll come back to this.
They didn't need him in Game 1.
right on. You weren't saying that after Game 1. What a shit show that was.
But now I feel like that has a little bit of a different ripple effect. First game he played 13 minutes, had 13 points. So
Be honest.
And Butler knows
You
how to
are
lead
not
teams.
sporting full wood over that offensive effort last night. If you are, you've got problems.
No, we missed a lot of
but
shots.
we won.
I mean, how many did they miss?
After a very impressive start, they missed a lot of shots.
Are we going back to the point where we're complaining
it's
about
tough,
wins?
though.
Me and JC are fully agree.
No, I get
Wow,
it.
that's weird.
I get it,
Wags
but
and TMZ.
number one,
Full
boys.
agreement.
Number one, a W is a W, regardless.
Bingo!
It doesn't
That's for
fucking
sure.
matter.
I'm not.
No,
hey,
I know, but if you want to take
we're-
away something from the
Yes.
Wolves because they're winning, well, shame on you.
no, no,
Shame on you.
We're getting hate for winning.
Shame on you.
Burnsy, if all we're going to talk about is the fact that it was a W, then we have nothing left to say.
Yeah, then it's
Well, you
over.
can talk about whatever you want,
Hand
because
them
they
over.
have-
They're going to the conference finals. No problem. They win.
Nope, they have their off
Okay,
games.
see,
and in
that's-
terms of shooting, sure,
That was-
they were hot when in the beginning. They kind of cooled off, but they've had great runs.
They
have
were-
great players, and shame on you guys.
No, not at all. I was annoyed by that first half offensive performance.
Yeah.
I thought it sucked. I thought it looked exactly like it did the game before, which looked like the game before. And clearly they are not handling any pressure on the threes, and that's the zone defenses that are being thrown at them. It's brutal. And then Stan Van Gundy couldn't have been more correct. Why the fuck are you?
I'm
What's
just
with
gonna.
the bounce passes to the 7-2
Hey,
guy?
I totally
who can't
get that.
catch-
I totally
he can't
get-
catch it. He
that's
can't
fine.
go bypass
That's totally fine.
over his head
Hey,
so he
sometimes-
can catch it
You know what
and
the
jam it.
You know what the problem is?
Good Lord.
Sometimes
He was
you're-
so right.
Sometimes, guys, you only play as good as your opponent is, and they're just playing. That happens. So I'm just going to let you know right now, they played just great enough, and they got the dubs. They got the dubs.
That's fine,
What
but
you see,
yes.
what you see is a big difference between Golden State and LA, because I feel like the Wolves had Plan A, Plan B, or Plan C, and it was just done. And it was
You're getting hot over here. He's sweating
It was-
bullets.
it
He's getting into
Can
it.
we get a tissue?
I got a stress alert on my little fancy watch here. It said, "Calm her down, big fella. Your heart rate." No, it didn't. It didn't.
Don't eat any steak tonight.
Calm down, big boy.
No
Go,
red
big
meat for
fella.
you. No red meat.
I felt like the Wolves controlled the Laker game much more, the Lakers series much more. This game,
Right on.
they're reacting.
Yeah,
to-
yeah,
to-
yeah.
They're not
Acting,
proacting.
They're not acting.
And the
they're
only one that's
reacting,
been consistent so far is Jaden McDaniels.
Yep.
yeah. Love him.
And
Yeah.
don't
Love
kid
him.
yourself. When they dragged it within 7 points, the Warriors, you soiled your pants.
Soiled my pants.
You shit yourself.
Did you call him and tell him that?
No.
No.
No, but
He's-
weren't
he's-
you
he's
going,
trying to pull stuff
oh
out of
my
his rear
God,
end."
how is this even possible?
Because what, they were up by
Well,
6.
Like, you
Weren't they up by almost 20?
they had 31 rebounds to the Wolves 30. How does that happen?
I don't know.
Please tell me.
Oh,
How is that acceptable?
That's
You
not.
play just as good as your opponent.
You got to grab the rebounds.
You do.
No, for sure you do.
But they out-rebounded the Wolves. And
It popped in and out of their hands like left and right.
Again.
It was like popcorn.
again, if I have to watch another laser pass to the chest or a bounce pass to Gobert that he can't handle, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'll tell you one
The
thing.
guy's amazing. Just get it up in the air, please.
Just something.
He will. Nobody can get it but him.
They are going to miss.
He's really good going to the basket.
They're gonna miss
that way. Incredible.
They're going to miss Naz Reid next year.
That's if they don't sign, which I think they will.
Okay.
We'll see. Why do we have to talk about that right now?
Yeah.
No,
That was weird. That
I'm
was
just my point is that he played great too. Naz Reid,
Oh,
he's been solid.
But every
And
time they launched
every
a three,
time I see him, I think that God, how are we going to get along without this guy?
every time they launched a three, did you go, oh boy, here we go again?
Yeah, he throws him up there a little differently, doesn't he?
He's got a little different
Flair.
like a little bit different swing or whatever.
Yeah.
Finish.
Can I
It's
ask about?
interesting.
But he hits the clutch ones. Which
Yes,
is
Doc.
great.
Can I ask about Ant? It seems like when he goes to the
his
hole,
antics.
he's not putting in the
Antics.
twos, and like
Again,
it feels like
hit or
he's
miss.
not.
Finishing layups has been a problem over the past month or two.
And that doesn't. I mean, that's not his normal.
And goal-
He
MO.
wasn't on. I don't think last game at all.
And
last 2 or 3
Gobert
games.
missed a lot of
I think
very simple
he's hurt.
shots.
I think that left ankle. I mean,
Bothering him.
aside from yesterday, go back toward the end of the season. I can't remember which game it was. It was at Target Center, I think. He hurt it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's moments where it's ripping, where it's not.
I think he's compensated so long for it now that, yeah.
But this is the
It's-
thing that was interesting. Minnesota's bench was 10 of 23 from three.
Yeah, it was
Good for
great.
44%. The starters were 6 of 14. So the bench was putting up more. Overall, they were 16 of 37.
Devo, love him. He's played well.
Very well. I agree. It's been interesting too, seeing again even how well he's been able to show up alongside what Randall as well.
What
Really?
What impresses me, and I could say the same for the NHL, is how the teams that are great separate themselves from their opponents during the playoffs. I mean, it's just next level.
I think your guy Devo has been really good defensively. He's an absolute. He grabs a lot of rebounds, pushes it up the floor, but the shooting, it's
Hit or
really
miss.
sporadic.
No, but his intensity,
Pretty streaky.
his
It's-
intensity is
I
completely
can't
different
take
in playoffs.
sporadic. It just. Ugh. I know that's part of, like I say, pitching, hitting is. I mean, you if you make 50% of your shots, you're amazing. I mean that's reality.
Yes.
But I don't know, like the Draymond Green elbow. What'd you guys think of that?
I didn't
I'm
mind the
overall
elbow.
reacting.
I didn't mind the elbow
A little bit.
as much as I minded how we
Would
responded
you have minded
to the,
if you ate
to
it
the
off the ear?
referees. Huh?
Would you have minded that if you ate that one off the ear? If that were you?
No, but I guess you have to accept
No,
the
I
fact that
wouldn't have.
Draymond's that's who
I
he
wouldn't
is.
like it.
I just don't like the antics afterwards because if he should be tossed in the game, and he makes that clear to every fan is that he doesn't get tossed and he gets to act like that, and I don't know. People
more professional?
People say it's Draymond being Draymond, and that's how he plays. You have to
Draymond
accept
being
it.
drama.
But the guy's got $100 million, and he still plays with a lot of intensity, and he's won 4 championships.
Can't take that
And,
away.
Nope.
And
But the vitriol against
I just don't
Look at
like
LeBron.
but the vitriol
and
he
his
has
freaking acting. It's horrible.
but let's
and it's deplorable.
Draymond's worse.
he's a menace
Yeah,
to a degree. But the vitriol he has to Rudy Gobert is legit. And he took to me a flailing cheap shot, and it was obvious. And knowing you took a cheap shot, and then they looked at it on video and said, "Yeah, that's a flagrant one or whatever it is." Yeah. See you, dude.
Fine
You
him,
got a T.
let him go.
And then he loses his mind over that. So he lost his mind over the call on the floor, and then he lost it when they looked it back at video. I don't know what else to tell you, buddy. Like it's.
Yeah.
Well,
You
we
gotta
hope-
know
we-
when
we-
to say when.
And then he kept
we
going.
hope
like,
he does it
and then-
one more time.
And then when he's working this is fucking bullshit and going after the refs, I'm like, Why wouldn't you tee him up again? You saw that. Like, I thought
Yeah.
he wasn't stopping.
Right.
And we've seen guys like
Charging
Ant, who
at him.
has a tee reputation like Draymond,
Yep.
get teed up for less.
Yeah.
So where was the second one?
You know where?
How do you just stop it?
They may have tolerated it because when he does get one more, he's suspended.
Well,
So
not-
the
not only that, I
referee
mean, like,
may not have wanted
He
to put
didn't
himself
want
in
to
the
have
game.
to do it.
Yeah.
You
So
know-
if you're the Wolves, would you just be sorry?
Yeah. No, I was just
They're
going
trying
to
to
say.
trigger him. Let's trigger him.
No,
That's what I'm saying. Would you go to midnight?
Yeah, no. The only thing that I'm saying is to stop them from doing that, you have to hit them where it hurts. If you're taking and finding these guys, and I'm not talking 5, 10
He doesn't
grand.
care.
Well, you know what? Then you have to hit them harder because I guarantee you, if you do hit them hard, they do start to care. Somebody has to care.
He's established. He's not changing.
Yeah, you're not changing that.
No, that's.
But you do you do.
Then
go,
you sit his
go-
ass so he doesn't act that
Don't
way.
you trigger? Well, they did.
He's not a child.
Basically, he was on the end of the bench there. But you want to try to trigger that.
You want to control it too.
You want him to get that tee, don't you?
Sure you do.
Just finish it.
Yeah,
Then
yeah, sure you
Draymond
do.
and-
Then you
Draymond
can be
and
thrilled
Curry
about
both.
But
that
that's-
middling game 2 win. I thought that game was mid.
But then you're playing with not even playing the game. Now you're just mind fucking each other so that you do get them kicked out and so that you can. It's just
That
a whole
happens.
different
That
thing.
happens all day
it's-
long.
Absolutely, it's part of the game.
Don't get me wrong.
No.
I'm not.
Price of poker.
I'm pleased that the Minnesota Timberwolves won and leveled the series at 1. Very pleased with that. I'm a little bit freaked out about some disjointed offensive flow to this team and some really brutal defensive breakdowns, which caused timeouts. Boom! Just like that. Some easy transitional baskets that we saw. It's like, what is happening here? One pass and done. So I do think those things need to be better. And we'll see what happens in San Francisco.
How about the bench at garbage time? There were a few nice looking players there.
You know what? I think our bench at garbage time is better than everybody else's. I really do.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. When you have Terrence Shannon Jr. out there, when you get
Didn't he have that nice finger roll? That was sweet.
I don't know if
No,
it was
that
him.
was Minot, wasn't it?
Minot.
Oh, that was Minot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Minot just went in there and just was attacking the basket, which was great. Then you get Garza, who can get some minutes out there as well. And
I'd like to see him get some rotational time.
I would
honestly,
even if it's maybe 5 to 10 minutes, maybe.
please.
Like find a couple, maybe end of the half.
They must just really hate. They must hate him defensively.
I don't get it though, and it's
Honestly,
it's one of the more interesting storylines in the Wolves organization right now because we've seen time and time again when he's down in Iowa, that he can play out of his mind.
Well, he's too good for that. And we've had this exact same discussion before. When we had guys foul out, we had no choice but to play him as the big against the Joker. He was good. He was all over him. He gave him nothing.
Bear missed a lot of very simple.
What? But he was really good against the best player in the world.
Yeah.
So let's see more, But I know they've got their thing. They're doing it their way. They're doing it. You know what I mean? It's just it's quite fascinating. So, but I'd like to see more of him.
Yep,
I would as well. See if we can get a little bit more Shannon Jr. too.
What's worse, Dillingham?
I don't know.
Is he in street clothes?
Yes, he was last night. Yep.
How do you think that makes him feel?
Important.
Terrence is getting time and he's not.
Important.
He's got great potential, right?
I still think he's got a lot of.
Did you guys see GT's reaction to the album?
No.
You did?
Who?
Glenn Taylor?
Oh no. Does he have a reaction?
Oh, just like that.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, the mouth is agape.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Already.
Sorry.
Wow.
Was that mean?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
It's
Hey,
just how
Doc,
people
we don't need that to be a short. Can you let that go?
No, we'll put it in there.
I think he should put it in
Slide
there.
it in.
Edit that one out.
Slide
Well, I can't help but
Slip it
notice.
in.
My understanding is that he has those seats for life.
Yeah.
Dear
Which
God.
isn't
part
much,
of the
which
deal.
is,
Even
which
though he
isn't
will
much
not be-
longer.
No,
No, but he'll be able to hand it off to his.
But he
grandkids.
but you would think that the
Willem.
ex-owner would not want him right next to the end of the bench.
No.
Don't
No.
you think you'd want to move that right on?
Marv Wolfenson's
He should
kid.
just go like
It's all in the contract.
underneath the basket or something.
Part of the
please.
deal.
Move
Yeah.
him.
No. Can't be.
I know.
limited
You're
to
not,
that.
you're not
you
moving.
couldn't
He's
do
not
that.
taking Cuban seats. That's not happening.
Yeah, I figured.
Second row back behind the.
My next door neighbor was this guy by the name of Jimmy Wilson, who was the son of Marv Wolfenson. And
You just doxed him.
yeah, one day he couldn't get into his home. He got locked out. He goes, "Can you help me get into my home?" And I took an effort and was able to work my way to get into his house. We didn't have to call a locksmith. And he goes,
Sounds like a
then
break-in.
the next day he calls me. He goes, "I got Wolves tickets. Do you want some Wolves tickets?" Now I know him as something other than Wolfenson. And I go, "I don't know. Let me take a look." He goes, "They're on the court, or they're on the floor." And I said, "I'll be there." So he still has his tickets. Is my point.
Did you sit there?
Yeah.
Were you scared?
No. This is a while ago.
Is that the Loons?
United? Yeah.
Branded up.
Oh,
So-
is the pot over?
Well, no, I'm kind of along for the ride
You
here
fell
today.
asleep on that one.
Honestly, I'm a little disappointed that Curry's injured because I wanted to see that matchup a little more.
Yeah,
Did you?
and see if he'd actually make things different for him.
Well, yeah, because also that's what
'Cause-
Ant wanted. Ant said he wanted to go
Oh,
through
for
Curry.
sure. Yeah.
So maybe that's why he's
I don't
not.
know. Curry's he's freaking good. He can
Yeah,
shoot.
you think he would
Well-
play no matter what?
And somebody might
I
be
mean,
able to,
all he does is shoot from behind the arc.
yeah. Somebody might be able to fact check me. I think he's 36 right now. 37, 36,
Yeah.
36.
36.
And even just hearing the amount of miles and the amount of steps that he puts in a single game at his age, I mean, it's
wear and tear too.
it is wear and tear. I mean, he's doing 1.25 or over a mile, which when you think about, again, how big an NBA court actually is and how much he's moving, I mean, it's ridiculous how many, how many steps, how much wear and tear is actually going on in his body at his age too. I mean, that's part of it at the end of the day.
Starts and
It
stops.
reminds me of me on Friday night.
I mean, if a soccer player wears a pedometer on his belt,
Yes.
he runs over 6 miles during a game, so it's not that much.
It's not that much, but
It's the stop and starts, and it's hard
It's
on
not
the knees
6
regardless.
miles.
Jumping.
Yeah, it is.
And he's not like 18 years old.
No, I'm saying that what we're saying.
No,
the
no,
difference
it's
is
hard.
but
the
he said
big difference.
it's 2 miles for him.
Okay,
That's no
2 to
big deal.
6 miles are a big difference.
I know, but
relatively
it's not that
speaking,
big
though,
a
I mean,
deal.
you're talking about different type of athletes too and what their conditions.
basketball is
I
complete
think it's just
sprint.
wear and tear.
But it's
is what
complete
we're
sprint
talking
up and down. It's cut, it's turn,
Regardless.
it's stop, it's transition.
Yes.
Soccer's more of a flow, rest, walk.
Yes.
Flow,
So
rest, walk.
what's your estimate on
Agreed.
how many years he has left to play? Then, if we're starting to see him breaking down a little bit.
Who, Mike Conley?
Half a year.
No, Curry.
Oh, Curry?
2 to 3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
2 to 3 maybe.
He's got
I
some
think
he's
2
got
to
some
3 is
records
good
to
call.
think about.
2 to 3.
Yeah,
I
I
would say give or
hope
take.
2 to 3.
At least.
I would say 40. That seems to be
I
the
don't
age.
know. I think 2 to 3.
It depends how much they love the game and where their kids are at if they want to be with their kids.
Exactly.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
It's a big
you know?
decision.
I think it is.
It's hard to argue, Wags.
Should we?
How much time do we have on the show, Doc? I
We're
got a
gonna
topic
room
I
for
want to bring
hockey.
up.
We're right around
Yeah,
that
I got a
37-minute
topic.
mark.
Yeah, we got it.
Boy, we are scrambling for content here.
Not scrambling by
No,
no
no.
means.
No, Mikko
We're-
Rantanen and what he did
We have plenty of content.
in Game 7 with the hat trick was so amazing against Colorado, and then
was.
coming back and doing what he did against Winnipeg in Game 1. You look at that player and you go, if you don't follow the NHL very closely, you don't really notice what's really going on in Denver that much. I mean, a lot of focus is on the East Coast. But, man, to be traded from your original team to the Carolina Hurricanes, who look really good, by the way, even though they're 1-1, and then to be traded to Dallas, all that within like a few-week period, month maybe, and then take some time to get settled in there and really making a difference. They could win the Cup.
They could.
I love that.
The Oilers look badass.
They looked really badass.
Seeing that game last night,
That
like
was a
you
good game.
you used some interesting choice of words in our text thread, but just seeing the competitive style of play that deep, that far into the game between those two teams was pretty exciting. Even just
It was nuts.
And that's what I was thinking about the playoffs. I mean, you look at what the Golden Knights did to the Wild, and then you look at what the Oilers, how they look against the same team, and it is such a different level.
from series to series,
Yes,
it's crazy.
it is. I would agree.
That cross check to the nose. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Horrible.
major, dumbest fucking
Horrible.
thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You're in overtime. You're in the offensive zone.
He was reacting.
You not only did that, you kind of left your feet and shoved his nose to the back of his head. And then you're wondering why you got a major? I hope he gets suspended. That was absolutely... I mean, if I'm coach, you can sit upstairs, dude. I'll suspend you because you nearly killed us. We lost anyway. But that 5-minute major didn't help us win the game during those 5 minutes because we were defending.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I think we should also talk about Connor McD.
Oh, he was
Yeah,
good.
he's
I
next
mean-
level too.
Well, not only that, but he's again leading by assists through all the playoffs from all the players, and it just shows his ability to be that playmaker. So he's topping the charts, I believe, at 11 assists. So that's pretty darn good.
He's been drawing a lot of traffic, and Leon is finishing. How about that game-winning goal? It was so funny. Bob Wasushin on ESPN is my favorite, like, network-based announcer. And did you guys see the goal at all, or were you watching it live?
Yeah, I was watching.
When it hit the back, you know how it goes thump off the back? At first,
Oh.
it sounded like it hit the pad of the goalie, you know? And I was like, wait, did that go in? And he didn't say anything. And then I'm like, they're selling. And then he's like, I think he thought the same thing because it
Oh,
went in so
yeah.
hard on the ice.
Just
you
popped
know?
right back out. It looked
Yeah.
like a pad.
Yeah.
I get it.
I thought Evan
Really,
Bouchard was going to
really
score
good
on the
games.
power play with the blast. He's got an absolute cannon. But either way, I think it's looking to me, if I were to be making a prediction, I think Dallas and Edmonton
Yeah, top two.
renew their 90s
What about the Canes?
rivalries. I'm going to go Caps and Leafs.
Caps and Leafs, really.
I think the Leafs are going to get through it.
Okay.
I like this Wool kid. I like his mentality as the goaltender. The goaltenders are usually in Toronto, they're the ones that can kind of tend to be the weak link, you know, the mental, like there's so much pressure and it's really hard to play there. He's playing for the other goalie who was injured. And, but he did play 42 games. He played the majority. But I just like his mental approach, and I think he can block that stuff out. I think they beat Florida. Florida came in banged up. There's just too much talent on Toronto. Well, one thing.
I love Toronto. Love Colorado. Love the Oilers.
The Oilers look good.
Yeah.
Now, the Oilers were close. I mean, they were one game away last year.
Yep.
Well, they're the favorite right now, according to Vegas or the odds makers.
Oh, I think Dallas is better.
Dallas is
Deeper.
Okay. Based on the
They're
game,
right there. What are they? Go to the right. Okay, not much different.
yeah.
So what did you think overall though, between if we have some additional points on hockey here with the Knights and the Oilers? What did you think? You shared some thoughts. It sounded like you were enjoying the game last night.
Yeah, what I liked about it was the pace and the energy and the puck movement.
Even as late into the game as there was.
Yeah, I think I didn't feel like that fell off from when I was back and forth into it. I felt like it was just a really well played National Hockey League game. You know, it was
The
really
pace
good.
was
The
good.
goaltending was really
Pace
good
was
too,
good.
and there was enough goals in there. You know, there were quite a few goals actually, and but you know there were some good chances, and you know there's desperation for Vegas going back to Edmonton.
Absolutely.
You know, it doesn't mean they're out of it, but if they don't win,
I want to see more fighting.
Yep.
oh, you won't.
No, I know, but I'd
Not in
like
the
to see.
playoffs.
No, I know.
Sad.
Well, you might. Here
Usually
and there,
reserved for
but not-
game ones and first round.
Yeah. They try to play
What you
penalty
I like
free.
to-
what
And
you
four
don't get
nations.
used to seeing
Oh,
is
sure.
a guy absolutely snapping
How about-
and throwing a cross check to the nose. Do you want to know
Or
why he
delay a
did?
game of.
Do you wanna know
throw
why
a
he did
puck
that?
over the.
I hate
frickin'
that call.
opponents.
That's a dumb call. Do you want to know why he did that?
No. I mean, yes.
The elbow
the
grazed
back.
him just a little bit to the head, just a little, because it wasn't like a purposeful
Intentional,
thing, and he
yeah.
flipped out, and then he went with the cross check. Did you guys see
In the face.
Yeah, have you guys been following the trial TMZ in Canada
No.
No.
Tell us more.
with the Hockey Canada rape trial?
No.
Oh boy.
Missed that one.
Really?
Do we have time? Or should we save this one?
We got time. We got time.
Well, did you see the guy, speaking of getting his nose grazed, did you see the Twins
You
pitcher?
guys don't know about this.
No. Tell me more.
Yeah, all right. Go
Okay,
ahead.
well, 2018, Team Canada won the World Junior Championships. They had a huge celebration, as they do, in London, Ontario. Afterwards, I believe it was one of the players, the guy that's on Vegas, met this girl, brought her into a bar. She connected with a player, and they went to a room. This is all court documents,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
they
yeah.
said.
And the
They
reports.
got it on, and then suddenly in came 4 or 5 others for a little gangy action, and it wasn't consensual. And in 2022, there were a number of players that were currently playing in the NHL that were implicated in that. And so now there's a trial on this. And
If they're found guilty,
Have they all
will
been
not be playing
doxxed?
hockey.
well, everybody knows who they are. They're no longer playing in the NHL. Every one of them was an NHL player, and they're either
They're
playing
gone.
in the KHL or they're playing in Europe somewhere, mostly KHL type stuff. And there was an interesting thing.
Because of the case or because of their limited talent?
100%, they got let go from their teams.
The kids.
So what the bigger things that happened were the accountability levels from Hockey Canada, because at the time they had this hush money fund for these types of situations
Wow.
for their players.
Ew.
And that was well documented. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And that came to light. It was like, goodness gracious, what is going on here? And so they ended up getting hammered for that, and they've restructured their governing body. Hockey Canada is no different than
Yeah.
USA Hockey.
Right.
And so they've restructured that group. So
When you mean restructured, you're
well,
just
like
fired.
like
Just
yeah. Well, I mean, like there's new people in
Yeah, they're just
control. Yeah, there's new,
cleaning house.
So in the case, which was interesting to me, is I believe it was Corey Hart, the Philadelphia Flyers goaltender. His attorney went hard after it, and you've got a feeling that no matter what happens, these guys they're gonna skate, pun intended. And after that testimony, because she hammered the witness or the defend or the
defense.
the
Plaintiff.
victim, the plaintiff. Thank you, very well. And we'll be curious to see what happens. The irony is they gave her a lineup and she mistook Corey Hart for Sam Steele. Go ahead and look them up on Hockey DB, Doc.
I
You won't-
mistook him for
you
the
won't
guy that
believe-
sings I Wear My Sunglasses at
But it
Night.
doesn't matter.
You won't believe how
Yeah.
similar they look.
Right.
And when you see how similar they look, you're like, well, I don't blame her there, But there's like these little nuances, and you can just see it happening.
Yeah.
To me, it's a fascinating story because it talks to a larger sociological thing where I don't know if, as a parent, if I would ever want my kids to leave my house at 14 for a sport to live with someone else raising them, when as a dude you are throwing gas, you are horny 24/7. I mean, you are going straight pitchfork down there, man, and you are looking for anything and everything that can possibly happen, and no one's watching.
Anything that moves.
So I think what happens is
Well,
you
yeah.
get this like completely different idea of how it all works because you're kind of glorified, and I think it just doesn't. There's nothing behind this. It's just a feeling and a thought that I have of like it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And so I think
So when
that's
is
kind
this-
of more what that's about to me.
So when is this going to end? When are they?
It started last week, I think. It should be over soon, probably
Got it.
a week or so.
Okay.
Looks like 4 guys. Is that right?
Good to know.
I think there's 5.
5 guys.
Yeah.
Well, with that, guys.
And were they all NHL guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all high
And
picks.
they're all tossed.
Yeah, all those guys that are on those World Junior teams usually get time in the NHL one way or the other.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
What a
you don't wanna
way-
leave your
I
mark.
could name all the names. I'm not here
No,
to do that.
no.
I mentioned, the goalie and a guy that she misidentified, and
Yeah.
that team has a lot of the players on that team are stars in this league right now.
Now, how would you like to be the parents that did let the kid depart at 14, but yet for those first probably 10 years after they're 4, they put everything, their heart and soul into getting this guy his hockey dream, and then that's how it's blown.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do it if they had the hockey dream. It's like, are we that shallow?
Yeah.
That a sport matters that much?
Oh, we see it all.
That you'll let someone
we see it all the time.
A sport means that much to you that you will let someone else raise your child. You give that little of a shit about your kid.
There's so much going on.
And
Yeah,
then,
we
you
could
know,
just go on forever about this.
But then what people will say to me is like, well, that's their decision. Well, sure it is, and I think it's a dumb one, and I'm entitled to my opinion.
Yeah, that's why community hockey is so awesome in the state of Minnesota.
That's why I'm a huge
Bingo.
defender of it, Docky. That's why I'm a huge defender.
Yeah,
Love it.
I believe in it.
yeah.
There's so much good unless you bring the bad.
I would agree.
Right
There's
on.
so much
was
good.
that a? We're
It's
not.
the last minute of play in the period.
Is that the period or the game?
We got some
That
final,
is just about the game. But any final takes? But can we talk just a touch of football, or is there nothing to talk about?
What's this Kirk Cousins watch? I don't want to get Wags going, but we might.
You're getting them going.
He's a defender.
Anytime you talk about a
I
QB,
haven't. Do you have anything?
Atlanta signed him for 2024, but escalators make 25 murky.
I
Rumor
do have
mills.
one thing I want to add.
Like some,
Sure.
But maybe could it be possible that the Browns might add Cousins to
I'm
their
not obsessed with.
their
I'm not
repertoire of
obsessed with him like
quarterbacks?
you are. So
Yeah.
we'll let that go.
I'm all.
I mean,
over
like,
it.
I don't know about you, but
you can't deny it.
This
It's
is
a very
reminding me-
interesting story.
No, not at all. It reminds me of a guy that can't let go of an old girlfriend and still wants to be with her.
Yeah.
Like you're so worried about where she's going to land.
parallels. No parallels.
100%.
On a serious note,
No
though,
parallels.
Vikings related.
That was a good one.
One of our first draft picks, Jackson from Ohio State. It's been fun seeing, again, not necessarily a headlining report, but seeing more and more clips over on X. It's been fun to see some behind the scenes clips of just seeing how he's acclimating to Minnesota and his parents, his mom, dad, and girlfriend, I think too.
character kid. He's
He'll
a
be the
character
least.
kid.
He'll be the least of their concerns.
Yeah,
I agree.
The one thing I wanted to bring up, guys, and I didn't mention this in the free agency Wild move, and we'll have to cover this on the next podcast, which was the Wild postseason interviews and things.
Yep.
Because I think there were some good talkers in there, but I didn't bring up Mitch Marner as a high-priced, pricey free agent, and I didn't do that by omission. I just omitted it. I guess I did. I omitted it because I don't see you being able to do both he and Kaprizov with the level of contracts that they would have.
Yep.
So he signs elsewhere. But boy, would he look good here.
he would.
He'd look cool.
That would
I
be
agree.
impressive.
His helpers are next level. He's not a goal scorer. I still identify this hockey club needs a goal scorer.
Yep.
They need goal scoring help.
Yep, big time.
So that's my take there.
I'll
Interesting take from Billy Guerin, Doc, at the I'm trying to extend this a little longer. At the press conference was, no, we didn't like that we lost. Yes, we do feel like it felt different. Yes, this season does matter. Yes, we will do everything we can to put a winning hockey club out there. And yes, we do have a huge pipeline of players, tons of young guys coming up, and they will be blended into the mix as well. And I'm just really curious and interested to see what this offseason really, truly looks like.
Yep.
I think they're excited.
Nice. Good
I think they're
points.
excited.
They've got options, but there's just not. Mitch Marner's like the big name. There's not a ton of youngish 28, 29, 30-year-old UFAs. They're all 33 to 36.
Right.
And you start going really? So then what does the trade market look like? So
That will have to unravel before our eyes. I know we got some fun dates coming up. June 1st for the NFL. I know Doc wanted to bring up a little bit of
Yeah.
football, so
Love that.
we'll be seeing that. I know I was going back and forth trying to understand, hey, what's the implications of June 1st and why that's even important. Obviously, it has a huge impact on salaries and cap hits for each and every team, so we'll be keeping an eye out for that
I
in a
think
couple
we'll
of
see
weeks.
something right around there.
when you have strange signings that occur too.
Say it again?
You have strange signings that occur too.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little bit of everything, I think. Curious to see how that pans
We'll
out.
see what happens.
What else you guys got? Any final takes?
No, let's go. I want to see the Timberwolves pull this off, and
Wolves in 6.
let's
Wolves
go.
in 6.
loving that.
That's not unrealistic. Let's see what happens. Play better offensively and absolutely.
Let's get Ant back.
I think the next game will set the tone. How the Wolves play on the road,
I think they'll be great on
and
the road.
does the Golden State team care enough to win?
This Wolves team,
Because this is the end of the dynasty. if they lose.
This Wolves team don't like being front runners. They like being ganged up on and being the underdog and disrespected. And at least when you go on the road, you can get that animosity and that energy. I don't think they play half as focused on at home as they do on the road.
Let the hoodlums out.
We got Truist Championship today. We got some golf too.
Yes, they have some weather. So they started early. Keith Mitchell leading
The
to
Meta
start
Sports
the
League
day.
Studios. This has been the DigiFan Podcast. We'll see you next Friday.
Thanks, Doc.
Cheers.
See you
Later.
guys. The truest